Thank you for stopping by What is Hot. Today we bring to you a new segment, Buzzwords. For very obvious reasons in the news cycle, we're going to be talking about Ruga, cattle colonies, and cattle ranches. Very clear definitions, very clear examples. A cattle ranch is very simple. It's a farm situated within one piece of land where all requirements for raising mostly cattle, sometimes goats, sheep, or pigs are made available. That means in the case of the Nigerian Fulani herdsmen, you don't need to roam from state to state, city to city, looking for pasture and water and favorable conditions to raise your cattle. Everything to raise your cattle is brought in within one piece of land. Now, a cattle ranch, to successfully raise a cattle within a cattle ranch, you must have a water point. That means a borehole, tap water, or a small pond. You must have a barn to shelter your cattle from extreme weather conditions of sunlight and rainfall. And the barns must be divided in such a way there is a space for the beef cattle, a space for the milking cattle, and a space for the babies, which are the calves. Sometimes, occasionally, the cattle rearer opens up the barn and allows the cows to graze outside. But the cattle will graze within the perimeters of the farm. The cattle are not allowed to roam outside the farm. And to ensure this, a farm fence made of barbed wires and wood is constructed all through the perimeters of the farm to ensure that the cattle stay in. So that's what a cattle ranch is. Now, if that's a cattle ranch, what is Ruga? And why is Ruga so controversial? Some say it's an acronym for rural grazing areas. Others say it's a Fulani word that means settlement. But let's not worry about the acronyms. How will the Ruga actually work? According to the presidential spokesperson, that Ruga Settlement simply means he says Ruga is a settlement in which animal farmers, not just cattle herders, will be settled in an organized place with provision of necessary and adequate basic amenities, such as schools, hospitals, road networks, vet clinics, markets, and manufacturing entities that will process and add value to meat and animal products. What this actually means is almost the same thing as a cattle ranch, but in this case, you have hundreds of cattle ranches situated within one particular geographic area. So that means an entire village dedicated to cattle ranching. That means your neighbor, all the neighbors around there is a cattle rancher. The only difference is that in the case of the cattle farm, in the case of the cattle ranches, is one man, one land, one farm. In the case of the Ruga, it's about 200 to 300 ranches situated in one geographic location. And like every rural area, they need to have their own village head, their own election, their own ways of maintaining law and order, and of course, their own ways of communication. That explains the reason why the president of Nigeria approved a radio station for the Fulani herdsmen. So Ruga is almost the same as a cattle ranch, but the difference is that you have almost 300-400 cattle ranches situated in one geographic location. That is the Ruga. Where does that leave the cattle colony? The cattle colony and the Ruga is literally the same thing, just a play on words to make it sound easier for the Nigerians who are very suspicious that the cattle herders want to take their land and colonize their village. You understand? Thank you for stopping by. My name is Chizoba Adiola. Subscribe for more buzzwords every week. Bye.